Your DNA is a language, not poetry, not metaphor instructions. A code written in 4 letters, running inside every cell you've ever been. But here's the question no one wants to sit with. If DNA is code, then what happens when someone learns how to edit it? Not to heal, not to save, but to design. Welcome to Mysterious Encounters. Today's file is not about genetics, it's about authorship. Because once you can splice the blueprint, you can splice the future. Most people think genetic engineering started in white rooms, lab coats, microscopes, stainless steel. But the first DNA splicing wasn't modern. It was ancient, and it was slow. Selective breeding. We didn't call it genetic editing, but that's what it was. We took wild grass and forced it to become wheat. We took wolves and bent them into companions. We took violent nature and curated it. We were editing biology with patience, and that should disturb you, because it means humans have always had the same impulse to rewrite life until it becomes useful. Now go deeper. The oldest civilizations didn't describe humanity as accidental, they described humanity as made. In Mesopotamian stories, humans are formed to serve. In other myths, life is shaped from clay, breath, blood, like a recipe. And across cultures you see the same strange motif: hybrids, half man, half beast, winged forms, chimeras. Most people treat these as fantasy, but a symbol is often a memory wearing a mask. Because if the ancients didn't have microscopes, what were they trying to say? That life can be combined, that bloodlines can be altered, that creation can be engineered, not proven. But the pattern is old. Then the 20th century happened. We discovered DNA was not just life stuff, it was a structure. Then we learned it was information. And once biology became information, it became vulnerable. The modern splice is surgical. Cut here, insert there, silence this gene, amplify that trait. In theory, this is salvation. Treating disease, preventing inherited disorders, repairing the body before it breaks. But the same tool that can heal can also categorize. And that's where the file turns, because the real question isn't, can we edit DNA? The question is, who gets to decide what counts as an improvement? Because the moment society defines better genetics, it creates a hierarchy, and hierarchies don't stay ethical for long. Here is the control layer. Access control. If editing is expensive, only elites can afford optimized offspring. Data control. Genetic data is the ultimate ID. You can't change it. You can't hide it, and it reveals your future risks. Narrative control. If a system convinces you certain traits are acceptable, it quietly pushes everyone else into the margins. This isn't science fiction. This is the logic of every system that ever existed. Measure, label, sort, control. Imagine a world where your opportunities are decided before you speak. Not by your parents' money, not by your neighborhood, but by your genome. Your DNA becomes your destiny, printed into a profile. Insurance, employment, education, not openly, quietly, algorithmically. And the scariest part, most people would accept it if it was marketed as safety. The same way surveillance is marketed as security. The same way tracking is marketed as convenience. Because control rarely arrives wearing chains. It arrives wearing a promise. Splicing isn't the future. It's the final phase of an old human impulse to rewrite life until it becomes manageable. But if DNA is a sacred text, then editing it is not just science, it's theology. Because whoever controls the splice controls what it means to be human. This file is open.